It's whatever you get out of it. That's what the back porch is. I'm not here to tell you on how to believe or what to think or how to think or who to think it about or who to talk about or who not to talk about. It's not my job. Don't care about none of that. Somebody in the comments told me that I was pretending about that. Well, I'm not really pretending. I really don't care. And if you ask somebody that really knows me, they'll tell you, I don't care. So, with all that said, and you can either read the posts or you don't have to read the posts. I don't care. You can look at the pictures. I don't care. You don't have to do none of it. I don't care. But thanks for coming here today. And let's talk about Lynette Fromme, since nobody wants me to talk about. Well, not nobody. It's just one dude. One dude. And maybe the one dude should go get Lynette Fromme right now. Get some popcorn. Get yourself a warm cup of... I guess the best place to start the story is once upon a time. We all used to read newspapers. You remember those times? But once upon a time, we all used to read newspapers. And this was one that everybody used to read. 7:23 in 1997. Michael, I think that you have stayed quite young in a relatively wise-ass world. I hope that people themselves are not the cancer eating themselves and the natural world. Long live air, trees, water, and animals, and the people who respect them. Lynette Alice Fromme. But anyway, once upon a time, we used to watch television, and it came to us from Broadway, or it came to us from, hello, this is Television City. We're in Burbank, California. This is The Tonight Show with Michael. Hello, how are you? Oh, I'm the comedian tonight? So, there was just a show about Manson on television the other day, and I seen it, and it was on Peacock, and I was wondering, do they have a rating system that goes underneath that gives it either one P or the whole cock? Thank you very much. Or somebody would say, oh, you're picking on Lynette Fromme again. I'm not picking on nobody, man. I live in reality. See, that's the thing. When these people become friends with these people, they get the same ideologies as these people. So you can't say anything bad about these people, like I can't say anything bad about my neighbor to my neighbor. Bullshit. I say things to my neighbor all the time that he don't like. He says them to me too. Who cares? I still like the dude. Doesn't mean I like him any less. I like him a lot. You know? We're just real with each other. in this Manson world, these people ain't real with each other. They get the same ideology, like, oh, you can't talk about Lynette Fromme. She's weak. She's a lot tougher than you, man. She did time in state prison. She did time in federal prison. She did time in the Manson. She's way tougher than you are, pal. She don't need your protection. So, I'll talk about whoever I want to talk about on the Back Porch Tapes. I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about on the Back Porch Tapes. Nobody will ever stop me. And again, don't think I'll make you try to think something or believe something or feel sorry for somebody or not feel sorry for somebody or I like somebody over time. None of that. Don't care. Care about the story, not the person. It's the story. That's also what I don't like about people, you know? It's the action that I don't like, not specifically the person. So, even the people that make these crappy comments or the people that act, that seem like I don't like, because there's people that think, oh man, you don't like a lot of people. I don't care. If you don't care, you don't like or dislike anybody. It's just, it's your world. You're in it. And that's it. So, you know, I was thinking, why am I even talking? Because I was thinking a lot over Christmas time, what the heck is this back porch? What even is it? You know, why do I even do it? And it's basically to share things with you that I know you would like. And I know there'll be people that don't like them along the way. And we don't care. So let's get to this. So if I'm going to unfold this, probably the best place to do it is down here on the floor. Because this thing's pretty fragile. It's like 54 years old right now. Almost 54 years old. But let's unfold it down here. Come down here and we'll look inside.
Or it's sunshine, or forever, or soon. And compare him to the Superman. See? Where they said, by Charles Manson's own hand, it was clearly in Capistrano's hand. And that's how things get confused, because Capistrano always signed her stuff. Charles Manson. And this was called Man Cross Woman. More poetry from Capistrano. So, if you buy a paper, you can get some of her poetry in there. Okay, this is in Charles' own handwriting. I can tell it's his handwriting by looking at it long enough. And here's what it was. The reporter was asking him, can you explain the prophecies you found in the Beatles' double album? Charlie starts drawing some lines on the back of a sheet of white paper. 3 vertical lines, 1 horizontal line. That's this. That's what he's talking about there. In the bottom area, he writes the word sub. Okay, give me the name of 4 songs on the album. We choose Piggies, Helter Skelter, Blackbird, and he adds Rocky Raccoon. Charlie writes down the titles at the top of each vertical section. Under Helter Skelter, he draws a zigzag line. Under Blackbird, 2 strokes, somehow indicating bird sounds. Very strange.
Once upon a time, I think it was in the last video actually. Once upon a time in the last video, I think I told you I wrote posts. I like to write. You should try to write. I mean, there's some people that write underneath my posts now. So you could even read if you like to read. What the interesting thing about these posts, you might learn something about yourself, because I'm not really talking about, man, I might be at times, I might not be at times, who knows what I'm talking about at times. But in them, I learned something about myself. Maybe if you read them, you can learn something about yourself too. But I've learned something interesting about the people that read the post, or the people who don't read the post. And you can learn that too if you just go to the post. And when you're at the post, go to the comments. And in the comments, you'll see if people know how to read or not. Because most people just look at the picture. You know, that's what I did in books when I was a little kid too. I just look at the pictures in the book. So I can tell when other people are just looking at the pictures too. And a lot of people just look at the pictures. And if that's your thing, just go look at the pictures. You know, there's all kinds of different ways of looking at things in the world, you know. It doesn't mean exactly.
That's one of the best pictures of Zero I've ever seen. Wow. The clearest. Sure. Just looking at some of the people from that Spawn Ranch raid. Some crazy looking characters in that family. That's Zero. It was case number C89 2026600079, and it was in 1969, and it was 8:15 on August the 16th when they finally released her from the custody of the Sheriff's Department at Civil Brand in the Malibu station on the Spawn Ranch raid. They took down all her information that day, and when she was born, how old she was 5'4", 115 pounds, with red hair, brown eyes, and she was Caucasian. And she was involved in Grand Theft Auto.
Once upon a time, this dude was the most dangerous man in America. He was also a serial killer at one time, once upon a time. Way back when people dreamed about him killing people. Once upon a time, he was also a hippie cult leader. But that was once upon a time. Today, we don't do television from ba-da-da-da, this is Hollywood anymore. No, we do this from wherever we do it from. And this is the Backboards tapes. And this is Once Upon a Time, today. And we're going to talk about the Manson family.
Her rap sheet will probably show all of her crimes, maybe up until that point. Let's Lynette Fromme, and she was arrested in Redwood City. You know about that one? People in the know do. Trust me, they know. She was arrested in Los Angeles. And then again in Los Angeles. And that was the one we were talking about, the Spawn Ranch raid. And she was also arrested on this day in Los Angeles. And back in Redwood City, that was in 1968.
Comments, somebody mentioned that they were like in charge of Lynette Fromme's life, and I should never talk about Lynette Fromme ever again, because they're the one that's, I can't remember what word they used. I think they used, like, they're the one that's, they got a license, I guess, to use everything about Lynette Fromme and talk about her. So, with that being said, we'll talk about Lynette Fromme today.
On 4/19/1969, she was still living with the Manson family, so you know they were stealing cars back then. It was in Los Angeles, Lynette Fromme, Grand Theft Auto, and the evidence was insufficient, and they released her just a few days afterwards. I guess she was in there from the 16th or the 19th until the 21st. She was a car thief. Watch her car around, Lynette. So if you're friends with her, watch her car. She might steal it. Oh, she was arrested again. September the 16th, 1970. Civil Brand Institution for Women. That's a cool stamp. It's a part of history actually now. The reception unit for Miss Lynette Fromme of Santa Susana Pass Road in Chatsworth. Her birthplace was in Santa Monica. And she was arrested on 9/16/1970 at 10:15 at Temple and Broadway. She's probably down there. She has a cross on her forehead at this point. She's wearing blue jeans and a gray t-shirt and a gray vest. And her bail at that time was $315. What did she have on her? Miscellaneous sewing and paraphernalia. Oh, that's so funny.
I got something here. Everything on the back porch is something you ain't never seen before. Just trust me. That's why you should always come back. That's why you should always look at the videos. Anything that says Manson on it, they probably are saying something else. It's already been said 400 dozen times already. Here, I tried to tell you something that you've never heard before. That's the whole purpose of this thing. And if I couldn't, what would be the use of coming here and, like, so they say, beat a dead horse? Wouldn't be no need. But I don't think everything that they told us was exactly the truth. And I kind of get the feel of how the media works with murders too, because I told you in the last video, got a murder next door. They haven't caught the guy yet. At the end of the video, stick around. I'll show you how far this murder was from my house. But before that, we're going to get to this. We're going to get something that you don't know, that you will know now, because I'll show it to you. Well, I guess she was arrested again. The Manson family was bad for Lynette, man. She just kept getting arrested. Check this out. She has an X on her forehead and freckles. This stuff just cracks me up. Okay, she was again arrested on conspiracy. And what day was this? Where is the date? Oh, there it is. That's her birthday. The date. Oh, there's another address that she was living at. Larissa in Los Angeles, California. It looks like it says 3217 Larissa in Los Angeles, California. So that's another house of Lynette Fromme. She was arrested on Sunset Boulevard. Kenneth D. Como. Remember him? She got out on 10/26. Kenneth Como went on to marry Gypsy later on. And this is a receipt for her property. Wonder what kind of property she had. I suppose she would have some kind of sewing materials. Oh, let's see. A black attaché case with miscellaneous papers. Brown zipper cases with miscellaneous papers. One metal box with miscellaneous papers. One gray plastic folder with miscellaneous papers. A black photo album, numerous miscellaneous papers, and numerous photograph negatives. Huh. I wonder what was on those.
This lists their address. It lists them at zero value. They gave all that stuff zero value. Today it would be worth quite a bit on eBay. These guys didn't know what they were talking about. Released to Lynette Fromme, and she lists her address as 10-1 Broadway. Oh, these guys were characters.
The LA Times, they wrote me a letter. Actually, it was a little card. It said, "Dear Miss," I think I have it somewhere. I know I have it because I love this card they sent me. It's like, "Dear Mr. Channels, we're gonna have to cut off your subscription and give you your money back because your dog's just a butthole." And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, that's what the back porch is. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a whole lot of Manson stuff, and murder. That's what I was just looking for. Because there was a murderer who walked right down through me. Just the other day. I'm not kidding you. So now I keep my eye out. Because I film late at night. As you can see. There's less airplanes that fly over late at night. But now I know there's murderers that walk by. So they still haven't caught the dude. And they've got a $20,000 reward for him with a wanted poster out now. And I'm gonna keep my eye out. But until next time, thanks for coming here. That's kind of what the back porch is, you know? It's kind of nothing, really. It's kind of you coming over. Everyone used to go over to the kids' house, your neighbors, and used to look at stuff, brand new magazines and whatever. That's what this is. I have never grown up. And that's why it kind of, I don't know. There's just something about a murderer walking around here that makes it feel more authentic, too. So if you've seen the dude, turn him in, because you could get $20,000. This is a $20,000 reward here in this video. All you gotta do is find this clown before he comes back. And until next time, try to treat each other nice. Try to treat yourself nice. Peace.